Wagwan people, what you saying? It is I, Diligent Fingers, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another episode of the Viewpoint. And this one's going to be a bit of a different one. I'm actually going to start talking about games in a podcast, because everything's either been pretty serious or pretty personal. Do you know what I mean? And it's been a while since I've been wanting to talk about games for a while on this podcast series, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm waffling on for no reason. I apologise about that. What I'm going to be talking about today is Destiny. More importantly, Destiny 2 and the future of Destiny 2. Because for all the hype that I initially had from when I first saw the gameplay reveal and then the actual proper trailer basically for the game, or at least one of the first trailers that's probably going to be part of a series that's coming out. After the initial hype and excitement and sort of, buzzing over everything that was new that I saw and all the changes and stuff like that, after the initial hype and stuff, and then watching breakdowns of the subclasses that we know about, the weapons that we know about and stuff like that, I had a bit of time to think, and I can't lie and say there's not any parts that I'm really disappointed about, really. And I kind of want to take this opportunity to sort of outline them, because Destiny is a game that's very close to my heart. I've said it before, Destiny started the whole maybe I should start doing gaming content sort of idea. There wasn't a game that I felt I knew enough about, I was that invested in, other than Destiny, to really start doing content. And as you can see from the channel, Destiny content started to drop, really, really fast. I got bored of doing Destiny content rather quickly, and that was partly only because of the fact that there's so many Destiny YouTubers out there that are putting out content that would be a lot better quality than what I can put out at the moment. Plus I'm at a point with the current game, Destiny 1, I'm at a point where I don't feel like there's anything left to do in the game. I'm level 400 on both my characters. I've only got 2 characters because I started another one, but I've reached a point where there wasn't much that was keeping me playing the game. And this is the reason why I've got concerns for Destiny 2. In terms of the pros, in terms of what I'm really excited about, do you know what I mean? I love the new storyline, the look of the new storyline. I love the fact that Destiny 2 seems to be a lot more PvE and story focused, which is something that everyone has been screaming for since the game first released. I'm looking forward to the new subclasses, the gear, the weapons, fighting with members of the Vanguard. I can't wait to actually fight with Zavala, do you know what I mean, in the first story mission. There's so much to be excited about. Clans and guided games sounds great. Matchmaking for Nightfalls, Trials and Raids. That sounds really good, especially the way that they're implementing it, where, a lot of people are already going to be in clans. There's thousands of Destiny clans. So to be able to actually bring that in game and then sort of be able to use a custom banner or a tagline to try and recruit more people to your clan in a form of matchmaking, I think that sounds brilliant. I think that sounds absolutely, there's so much to be excited about, about Destiny 2. So I don't want people to get me wrong. I'm not necessarily saying that Destiny 2 is going to be a bad game, but these things I am quite concerned about. First off, consoles are going to be locked to 30 frames per second, 30 FPS. Xbox One, more than capable of doing that. PS4, especially the PS4 Pro, definitely more than capable of doing that. And the Scorpio that's going to be coming out sometime soon, I'm sure it's due to come out very soon, of course it's going to be more than capable of doing that. So I have no idea for the life of me why consoles are locked at 30 FPS. I have no idea whatsoever. And in terms of me as a YouTuber and other YouTubers that are out there, the premiere content that's going to be out on YouTube is going to be PC content, because that's where you're going to be able to get PC. The PC version is going to have the best graphic fidelity, best specs, the best frames per second, the best frame rate, everything is going to be premiere and exclusive to the PC. Obviously Sony will have exclusives, because they bought the rights to be able to do that, but a lot of people, a lot of Destiny YouTubers are going to be playing on PC. Of course they are. No one would have been unhappy with 60 frames per second for console, because we know that it can be done. So nobody understands why this has been locked off at 30. Not that it's really going to make any kind of difference, because we've been used to playing at 30 frames per second anyway. But we expected more, really. And it may seem like a little thing, like it may seem like a tiny thing, but it's just the fact that it just, in any way, shape or form, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I can't think of one good reason why consoles are locked off at 30 frames per second. I can't think about it. And when I've talked about it with my friends and fellow clanmates, they've been really disappointed by the fact it's going to be 30 frames per second. To me, it's a big red flag for me, really and truly, because again, it's something that we expected should have been improved but hasn't. This is the other thing as well, in terms of where the PC community comes into it as well. The second thing that I see as a big red flag is there's no dedicated servers. The one thing that the whole community has been screaming and shouting about, please, more or less begging Bungie to implement dedicated servers. Your second installment into this franchise, Bungie, you are asking people to put up with potentially another 2 to 3 years of peer-to-peer connections, red bar warriors, like unstable games, unstable matches, lots of lagging periods because people have got a really bad connection, or they'll quit out of a match unexpectedly, and that will completely lag the game out for ages. Like, why? You have more than enough money to implement this. Like, there is no way anybody can use the excuse of lack of funds. You have more than enough money to be able to implement dedicated servers. And when it comes to the PC community, they're not going to stand for it. People will try it out. It's a new game on a new platform. They will try it out. Some will stay. A lot of the PC community will kick off. They will not stand for it. They have been used to smooth dedicated servers for over 20 years now. It just makes no sense as to why. Do you know what I mean? And coupled with that, there's not going to be any ranked kind of competitive PvP league. None. Again, something else that was being screamed for: leaderboards, world scores, world rankings. Like, give people, in terms of end game content as well, give people something more to do. Give them a reason to keep playing the game. If there's no kind of ranking whatsoever, look at Overwatch. Look at how simple, yet how well Overwatch is doing. That being an example of such a stripped down game. There's hardly any story. The only story you can find is from the graphic novels that they put out, the comics that they put out outside of the game. Everything is outside of the game. In terms of lore, I'm glad that I think there was a screenshot of a button that you can press so you can show the lore of an item or something that you found. I'm glad that that's now part of the game, that's going to be part of Destiny 2, because having to take yourself out of the experience to find out more about the game that you love playing is a bit jarring, really. It's not a big deal, but everyone has been screaming for the lore to be in game. You know, help us, you know, bring out more of the story during the experience, you know what I mean? And then, you know, I've been hearing people complain about the fact that there's only going to be one raid on release. Like, I don't know why that's such a big deal. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. Like, you know, is it a big deal to you? Let me know in the comments, you know what I mean? Well, and the last thing for me, like, I don't know whether, I know a few of my friends are really excited about this change that's going to be coming to Destiny 2, but I'm a bit up in the air about it, and that is every PvP game mode is going to be 4v4. There's no 6v6s anymore, there's no 3v3s, there's not going to be any 2v2s or anything like that. Every PvP game mode is going to be 4v4. At first I was like, oh, that's interesting. A lot of my friends were like, oh, this is going to be cool, like in terms of strategic play and, you know what I mean, really getting competitive within PvP. I can understand it. I've never been that much of a competitive player in terms of Destiny PvP. Like, I enjoy Crucible, like, as a game mode to just play. I love Iron Banner, I love Mayhem Clash when that comes around. I love the fact that the last Iron Banner was Mayhem Clash. That was just a dream come true for me, and I absolutely enjoyed every minute of playing it. I enjoy Trials every now and again, you know, in terms of getting the bounties done rather than trying to get to the lighthouse and stuff. It's something that I've still not been able to do, you know. And I'm glad in terms of matchmaking, because I wasn't that competitive, I wasn't always called upon to like do trials and stuff. So there'd be times that I'd want to do trials, but all my friends would already be in their teams of 3, which is not a bad thing. I'm not complaining or anything like that, but now being able to have the choice of going in solo and being able to matchmake with like a clan that has got a spare spot, or, you know, 2 other solo players, and we meet up and we communicate and, you know, make new connections in that way. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's great. You know, I hope matchmaking is gonna be an option that can be toggled on and off, because I don't like the idea of not being able to do the Nightfall solo, like not being able to try and solo the Nightfall in things. Like, I enjoy trying to do that sometimes and stuff. But anyway, I digress. I'm supposed to be talking about PvP. Yeah, 4v4 PvP. What I was expecting, or at least hoping for rather than expecting, I was hoping for maybe the teams being made bigger. Like, the one thing that I really enjoyed about Battlefield, playing Battlefield multiplayer, is the fact that you can be on teams of like 20, 25, 30. Same with Battlefront. You know, Star Wars Battlefront, you can be on massive teams. But even Battlefield 1, you know, massive teams. Like, you can build teams within teams, you know, and have this massive warfare. Like, I was hoping that something a bit bigger, like maybe 8-on-8 or 16 versus 16. I was hoping maybe that might happen. When I first saw that, you know, all the game modes, PvP game modes, were going to be 4v4, I was even hoping that the raids might even go up to 8. Because currently it's 3, either 3 to 6, and then there's 6 in the 5 team, you know. Wishful thinking, I know, but I was hoping that there might have been an expansion on the PvP teams, you know, maybe bigger teams that we can fight in and stuff, because I like doing, like I said, I like doing trials, I like doing maybe the smaller sort of, you know, game modes and teams and stuff, but to have everything locked at 4v4 with no other options, like, I'm expecting private matches to still be a part of Destiny, like going into Destiny 2, so obviously you can have you know, any size teams you want. Well, up to 6 currently, but you know, I'm hoping that that's still going to be a feature in Destiny 2, that you can still have 6v6 in private matches, as well as Sparrow Racing and stuff. But to have everything, the main game modes, locked off at 4v4, I'm really disappointed in that, because we've ended up getting less rather than getting more. We've ended up getting less, you know. And as a choice, I would have been more than happy with it. But as it being mandatory, I think they've dropped the ball there. I think that there's going to be a large portion of the player base that's not really going to like that. You know, like I enjoy being in teams of 6 and having a full team of 6 and going through and absolutely stomping on teams, or having to really fight for the win, you know what I mean, or taking a couple of losses every now and again. Like that's the whole thing with Iron Banner, that's the whole thing with Mayhem Clash, getting a full team of 6 and going in and stomping on dudes. Realizing that we're not going to be able to do that anymore, it's really disappointing. And then on top of that, we still have to deal with a potential another 2 to 3 years of peer-to-peer connections. That's what you're asking your loyal fan base to put up with no reasons as to why this wasn't changed. I don't know. I'm not saying that the game is going to be bad. I think PvE is going to be amazing. The main story campaign is going to be amazing. I think the raid is going to be next level. Everything story-wise, I'm looking forward to. But in terms of wanting to get more into the competitive side than I did with Destiny 1, I'm disappointed, man. I'm disappointed that things have been taken away that I don't see any reason as to taking them away. Maybe it might get brought back further down the line, but as it stands, from the information that we know that they have put out to us, they have told us every game mode is 4v4. Doesn't matter if it's Control, if Control is still even going to be there. Doesn't matter what game mode it is, 4v4. I'm really disappointed in that, and I worry about the future of the game. Because these things may seem small to the casual player, but to the day one players, things that we've been pleading with Bungie to implement and improve. Don't get me wrong, there has been vast improvements within the game, vast improvements, and the gunplay is still as great as ever. That's one of the main things I loved about the game. The gunplay, the mechanics, loved it, absolutely loved it. But I feel like these 3 things, 30 FPS with no explanation as to why. These are supposed to be next gen consoles. Call of Duty, and I didn't know this to begin with, but Call of Duty is 60 frames per second. I'm sure Battlefield is 60 frames per second as well. I'm sure I've heard that mentioned. 60 frames per second as well. So why has a game that has got one of the best gunplay mechanics, like Destiny is known for its gunplay. Balancing is a different thing altogether, but in terms of how fun the actual gunplay is, Destiny is known to have the best gunplay. Why lock it off at such a low frame rate? Why not support it with dedicated servers? Why have you not done that when you are more than capable of doing it? And why have you stripped down PvP competitive play to just one option of teams rather than the many options that we had before? Don't get it. And I think these things, especially from the PC community, because the PC community I feel was where Destiny had its chance to really pull them in, really pull in the PC community and say, welcome to this strong community that we've had. Do you know what I mean? And especially, you know, with the history that Destiny has had, really and truly, this game should not be as popular as it is. I've even heard Datto say on one of his videos, Destiny, in terms of Destiny content and Destiny YouTubers, he feels his channel should not have survived as long as it has. And it is down to having such a loyal, caring, like, your Bungie, your fan base care about this game. Myself included, we really care about this game and the future of this game. We would not, at least me myself, I would not have invested nearly £160 into this game from day one, from the alpha up until now. I would not have invested nearly £160 into this game if I did not love this game and care about it. And I'm worried that these things that might not have seemed big deals to you, but you know are big deals to the community, I feel like for a lot of the community, these are going to be make or break things. Let me know what you think in the comments. You know, do you feel as if, you know, the concerns that I brought up, you know, are a big deal, or, you know, am I just sort of moaning out over nothing, really? I want to know what you think. Are you a Destiny player, do you know what I mean, that left after a certain period of time, got disillusioned by, you know, what was going on with the game? What do you think of Destiny 2 coming up? Do you think you're going to come back to it? You know, give Destiny 2 a chance? Do you know what I mean? Or, you know, have the concerns that I brought up sort of pushed you away from doing that? You know, let me know in the comments, you know what I mean? But with that, thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you have an amazing day. Take it easy, and blessings to you all.